Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, to all of our non-binary friends, to everyone on the spectrum and in between, welcome to another episode of The Shutter Show. My name is Ken Stachnik, and with me, as always, is
David Marlowe.
David. How you doing today?
Ken, I'm a little tired, but doing okay. Doing okay. Hanging in there.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah. How about yourself? You looks like you're in a different room right now.
I am. It's another day in paradise here in beautiful Oahu. I'm here in Kailua. I am working on a new project, and it's pretty not terrible being in Hawaii. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty good time to pretty good way to spend the beginning of winter.
And you were saying it's like rain season there right now, right?
Yes, no, it's definitely rainy right now. It is raining good chunks of the day, but it's still nice and warm out, so it's not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in LA where it's uncomfortably warm for December as well, but our air is a lot less clear here. So I am so jealous that you can actually see the Milky Way where you're at this point. So far,
I mean, being several thousand miles out in the middle of the ocean does have its certain advantages, certain also disadvantages. When stuff's not on the shelf, stuff is not on the shelf. If there is, sometimes like, yeah, there's just not one of those on the island. You're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're not going there.
Omicron hasn't hit in Hawaii yet, right?
I mean, well, not officially, but they only discovered it recently, and if they discovered it, it means it's already other places. It's not like they found the one guy. So like,
oh yeah.
So I'm
pretty sure it didn't start in South Africa.
No, much like the Spanish flu didn't start in Spain. We don't know where it started. There's no evidence where it started at all. And even if it did, it's just a genetic mutation. Why would that matter? So that's. So that's that. The great thing, one of the things that I love about Hawaii is how much they absolutely positively take all of this incredibly seriously. Everyone's been wearing masks. The answer to a lot of things is no, and no, you have to do it this way, which is very refreshing.
It was very comforting.
In other parts of the country.
Yeah. We weren't scared about being on a plane because we knew that everybody had to be tested. Everyone had to be vaccinated before even getting on that plane. Also, at the same time, like everybody 100% was likely to be fine coming away from Hawaii. So we were pretty comfortable when we were on our honeymoon, like the whole way through. So yeah, I'm super jealous. I can't. Where you were telling us? There we go. He's gone. You were telling us where is it that you're living above right now?
Let's see here. Well, I am currently living. I'm living my best TV pilot life. I am living in a warehouse that is also an aerial yoga studio, and it is like living in an episode of the Gilmore Girls. I am very much looking forward to meeting the quirky barista and or cupcake bakery owner. That is likely in my future. I have my sister's wedding coming up, which makes me think it's going to be kind of like a mid-season kind of a wedding. So probably lots of shenanigans, something that, comes close to calamity, but ends up pulling up. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a Friends kind of, awful thing.
You're Nathan Fillion in your story.
I'm Nathan Fillion. I'm like Russell Crowe.
Perfectly made for Hulu.
Yeah, I'm the guy from Burn Notice. Yeah, the only way to make this more of a cliche would be if I was living above a nightclub. But luckily, I don't have to deal with the tub thumping of house music every evening. So just the fun stylings of aerial yoga. I have to listen to some Enya, but it's not so bad.
Now, Ken, being in a warmer climate with warmer waters, I got to tell you, do you guys deal with piranhas there?
No, there is not a piranha problem here in Hawaii. Can confirm. There are jellyfish. I know I've met at least a couple of people who've been stung by jellyfish, but we have never had piranha problems. And speaking of piranha, we are talking about the 1978 film, directed by Joe Dante, written by John Sayles, produced by Roger Corman, Piranha. And we are talking about the original Piranha from 1978. We are not talking about the remake of Piranha from 1995, starring Mila Kunis and her very untweezed eyebrows. We are not talking about Piranha 2, The Spawning, originally directed by James Cameron before he was fired. We are not talking about Piranha 3D, which is directed by Andre Aja. We are not talking about Piranha 3 Double D, which is directed by the guy who did Feast. We are talking about the original Piranha, the best Piranha, and according to Steven Spielberg himself, the best of the Jaws ripoffs.
Yeah, and they were actually thinking about trying not to have this film released until Steven Spielberg put out his approval for it.
They were there was talk of lawsuits involving this because it was so close. And then Spielberg saw it and was like, yeah, no, it's different enough. Like, that's fine. No, it's fun. Like, it's not so the infamous Jaws ripoff is Grizzly, which is literally just the Jaws script, but with a bear. Like there's a mayor and the summer town, and it ends with the bear exploding, and like there's a scientist and a bear hunter and the sheriff. Like, it's literally just Jaws, but with a bear. And Grizzly is famously the movie where basically the courts were like, yeah, shark and a bear ain't the same thing. Yeah, it's the same movie, but also bear and a shark aren't the same thing. So it's a different movie, so it's okay. And Piranha is the movie that like took Jaws and kind of ran with the idea, and kind of and made like the charming low budget version of it. Like, instead of being on a big ship, they're on a raft. Like, there's a lot of little tiny changes that they make. There's there's less of fighting the individual piranha and more crowd scenes of people running out of the water, which is a lot cheaper to do.
Or thrashing around in the water when they should be getting out of the water.
Well, yes, but that that there's part of that's part of that's like in a slasher movie being like, why do they keep running up the stairs? And you're like, well, because if they ran out of the house, the movie would be shorter.
Yeah. There were just several points where I'm just like, just because you're being attacked by a piranha does not mean that the piranha is literally holding you in the water. There were a couple of points where I'm just like, it feels like it looks like she's getting pulled underwater. I don't think that's how piranhas work, but
it's a school of piranhas. Maybe they're working together, Dave.
Oh yeah, no, this film. Oh yeah, but here's the thing: like, when it comes to like talking about things like that, this movie is wonderfully tongue in cheek. It is so aware of what movie it is. Everyone knows exactly the kind of film they're making. Also, like, everyone's like, no, we're working for Roger Corman. Like, we know specifically what kind of movie he wants us to make. All the other like actors, I think, also too, like, are very aware of what kind of film they're in. Everyone seems to be having fun for the most part.
Absolutely.
It's like, even like at the end, like I think they were saying that their original cut was unviewable, but after a couple of edits and a couple of quick changes, it's including the addition of a well-known artist known as Phil Tippett, is now the cult classic that you see before you. It was such a fun film to watch.
Yeah, no, I think fun is definitely the best way to describe Piranha. Like, it's just a good time. There's nothing really offensive in it. There's nothing, like, even now watching it, like, there's nothing, like, I can't really think of any trigger warnings or anything that's like overly offensive. It's just, but not a gratuitous amount, like and none of them I would say are produced like one of the problems with 80 films, obviously, is that there are a lot of violent and rape nudity bits that are
Yeah,
not
the fish.
like
What was the fish rape film called again?
the humanoids of the deep.
Yeah, Humanoids, which was
Yeah,
also Roger Corman, right?
Yes, I believe so. If not, it's definitely. I mean, it definitely falls underneath one of the other Jaws, remora fish, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
Because like
it's the director saying, "What if Jaws raped people?"
I mean, in addition to eating them, but yes. But yeah, Piranha's just a good, it's just a good time all round, and the music's fun, and Kevin McCarthy shows up, which going back just a couple episodes, he's the protagonist from the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So this is the second movie we've covered with a Kevin McCarthy cameo.
He was the mad scientist, right? He was
Yes.
Dr. Robert Hoek.
The keeper of the piranha. And then the other big cameo or minor part is Dick Miller, who plays Buck Gardner, which I want to believe is a reference to Ben Gardner, the guy whose head shows up in the boat in Jaws. But you would know Dick Miller from a ton of Roger Corman movies. Gremlins, he ends up working with Joe Dante a bunch later on. Joe Dante is somebody that we should talk about. He did Gremlins, he did Small Soldiers, he did The Burbs.
He played the mayor in this, right?
Yes, I believe so. And then also the writer John Sayles plays the army officer who gets distracted by the main character's boobs and gets taken when they steal the army truck.
Which, by the way, from a comedy standpoint, absolutely love that scene.
Heather Menzies, Urich.
Yes. There was another also there. There's another great. Oh no. There was another great cameo in this, or another smaller part that I recognized her. I'm like, I like, oh fuck, who the hell is this? Like, is that who I think it is? Oh yeah, it's Barbara Steele.
Oh yeah, from Black Sunday.
From Black Sunday, another film that we've discussed on this channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no. Just I don't know. This is one of those films where because I'd never seen it before. Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen any of the remakes. I am very unfamiliar with Piranha as a franchise film property. But upon watch, so I didn't know what I was hopping into. I'm like, is this going to be kind of like Humanoids from the Deep? Is this the kind of cult movie that it is? So I was prepared to be like, all right, time to power through this. But then I'm just like, oh, it looks like they know what they're doing. Oh, these characters are charming. Oh, this like I love Heather Urich, who's playing the character Maggie McGowan, who I thought was unbelievably charming and hilarious.
Absolutely.
Just her whole point of just like distracting the army soldiers, like, are you gay? And not even in a weird, like, homophobic way. It's just like, I think he might be gay. No, he's not gay. Like, well, if he's gay, I'll seduce him. Fine, whatever. Like, I don't know. I appreciated the humor in her situation. I found her to be the funniest character of the batch of people there.
Well, it's one of the best things that John Sayles brings to both this and the Roger Corman film Alligator, which is also really good, which stars Robert Forrester, who people might know from Jackie Brown. And one of my favorite things in it is he is a cop who's just over the hill and he's just starting to lose his hair. And in one of the early scenes, like a convenience store clerk is like, hey, buddy, you and I both losing our hair. And he looks so defeated as he like checks his bald spot and kind of like just pushes his hair to the side as he's like, not yet. Like, I'm not bald yet. My hair's thinning. Like he's just got, it's these little touches that John Sayles adds to these characters that makes them so good. I also want to say, I got to go to South by Southwest in I want to say 2014, and John Sayles was there. And as the film screening that I was at wrapped up, John Sayles came in, said his little piece, and as soon as they said goodbyes, he like beelined it for the door. The dude clearly did not want to be there. He clearly did not want to hang out. And everybody gaggles around him, and he just keeps walking back to everybody as he's just trying to get out of the theater. And I was sitting in the front row, so I'm not that far. I'm like maybe 1-2 people back in this group, and I'm just kind of trying to get to the front. And I just shout, "Hey, John, thanks so much for writing Crocodile and Piranha." And he stops in his tracks, turns around, and shakes my hand. It says, "You're fucking welcome," and walks away. And that is my fucking John Sayles story. It is. And John Sayles fucking rule. And I love those movies. And I love you for stopping. Like, it was so vindicating because it was clear. He was like, no, that guy's a fan. That guy knows that guy knows my early work. That's a guy whose hand I'm going to shake. And it made me a very happy boy.
Oh, that's delightful. Oh, and Joe Dante and Joe the director Joe Dante, he's a very well renowned director who from some pieces that you might know, like Gremlins and Inner Space, and oh god, what was the other one?
I mean, he did The Howling.
Yes.
He did Gremlins 2, which is one of the all-time greatest middle fingers to a studio of all time. He did Explorers. He did a Matinee which is one of my favorite John Goodman performances. Let's see here. He did Masters of. He did one of my favorite Masters of Horror episodes called Homecoming, which is about a bunch of zombies who died in the Iraq War and Afghanistan who get really mad, and so they come back from the dead in order to vote. Let's see here. He did what else?
He did another Masters of Horror episode, The Screw Ply Solution, as well,
which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, he did Small Soldiers, which I definitely remember.
Yeah, he did The Hole, which is fantastic. He did a couple episodes of Police Squad. Oh, apparently he's been doing a bunch of episodes of Hawaii Five-0. Good for him. He is, and like he also did a bunch of the Looney Tunes movies, the live actions ones, which are technically speaking actually very impressive. If you look at what's happening, they weren't super popular, but they are up there with Who Framed Roger Rabbit as technical achievements that need to be said. And overseeing something like that, and overseeing all of these films with all these technical effects, like just the puppet work in Gremlins is actually fantastic. And getting that stuff to look right is not easy. And he's a guy who knows how to do it.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. And Joe Dante, oh god, he hits out of the park with this. For one thing, it's a well shot film. Like I don't understand where Siskel and Ebert, for me, they're kind of 50-50 in terms of their judgment on certain films. But in this one, they gave it, I think like Siskel ended up giving it like a half a star.
Yeah.
And made comments on like the effects looked terrible. I'm like, what are you talking about? These effects look great.
Well, what's also fun is the 1995 remake of Piranha, which was done for Showtime, actually just reused all of the effects from the original film. Like they just got the masters from the original film, and those are all of the Piranha effects in the remake in 1995. The rest of the movie is reshot, but all of the fish stuff is the same. Also, fun fact, one of the people who helped Phil Tippett make this movie was none other than Rob Bottin, a little guy who you would know would go on to do The Thing and RoboCop.
He was 17 when he worked on this too, right? He was a young guy.
Yeah, no, he was like an assistant.
Which, man, I just think about things I was doing at 17. I'm like, God damn it. Dude got to work on Piranha at the age of 17 and then went on to work on The Thing. And what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? But no, this movie is fantastic. Which, Ken, I don't know if you were aware, one of the things that I found was actually pretty fun about it was in terms of the effects, something that was really simple was the sounds that they used for the piranhas themselves. Apparently that sound effect was they took a dentist drill and they stuck it in the water and they put a waterproof microphone underwater, and that is the sound that you were hearing. It's just a dental drill, just sticking in the water.
There's a wonderful simplicity to Piranha that, I mean, One of the things about this movie that I found was like it was just so fun. Like I ended up with not a whole lot of notes. I didn't really have a whole lot to say other than like it's a great time. I love the moment when they see the little boy on the boat and they're all on the raft and they're like, hurry up. And then they all just kind of like push a little faster because like you're on a raft. What are you going to do? Gun it? Like,
Yeah.
and like, that's just such a good bit of suspense. And there's so much just little bits of stuff and the attention to detail and the fact that the characters are all kind of real and they all have a little bit of business that there's both so much well, like there's I I feel like I can't say enough about this movie, but I don't have anything to say other than it's fun. It's super great. Joe Dante rules. See this movie. It's 90 minutes. It's super breezy. It's not gonna offend you. It's just mostly gonna be a good time. And all of the other movies in the series, including Mega Piranha, are
Excuse me.
fine. I would say the Alejandro Aja Piranha 3D is the best of the other piranhas, but that's a real low bar to clear. It but
There's
it's
well,
yeah.
I got to give this film also some credit, and I think this is one of the reasons why they didn't want to release it originally until Spielberg kind of had his say about it. Was the number of children that are killed in this.
Yeah.
Or the children the children that are either killed or horribly mauled by tiny little piranhas. I felt so bad for these kids. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, okay, so famously with RoboCop, when it comes to the ending, there's the melt man, right, who then like gets hit by a car. And the MPAA lost their mind. And they were like, under no circumstances will this stumbling, melted man get hit by a car and then explode. And then Verhoeven was like, are you kidding me? The audiences love it. And the MPA was like, you're crazy, Paul Verhoeven. And so he went and got like a ton of the audience like cards. And like half of them had written down, and the best part is when that melted man got hit by a car. And so the MPA was like, all right, fine. Well, I guess if people like it, they're a bunch of sickos and they can keep it that way. And like, I kind of feel like that's like, I feel like a bunch of scared producers watch this and we're like, what if people are offended that kids are being killed? And everyone was like, but it's a good time. And like, we don't dwell on it. Like they die, they get all chewed up, but also like, like there's not, man, there's more screaming. There's more traumatic child screaming in The Never-Ending Story than there is in this. Like, and these kids are getting eaten.
10 times as traumatic.
Oh, yeah, there's like
just the horse singing into the swamp of sadness.
I mean, David, they drown a horse in a movie for children.
Precisely. The amount of things that got like a G rating back in our early childhood is quantifiably absurd.
Dude, Planet of the Apes has a G rating, and it involves the end of the human race, lobotomies, and Charlton Heston's full frontal penis. The rating system is bonkers. Yes, it is.
It's, oh God, what was it? I think The Witches was G as well, right?
Yeah, it was. Good. Then that movie still messes me up.
I remember being in preschool. I do have this little memory of being in that, because that movie is horribly traumatic. There is like everyone knows the scene.
Yep.
But I remember they decided to put that movie on because like, oh well, it's G-rated. Oh, there's a little mouse. Oh, fine. Mm-hmm. But then the transformation scene started happening. Already it was creepy before then. Just the kid being followed by this witch, and we're all just like,
it's good times.
Okay. And then it melts, and then all the kids like we all start sobbing, and they're just like, oh God, turn it off right now.
Yeah. Don't let Nicholas Roeg make children's movie, people. Like he's gonna ruin your afternoon. But I love Nicholas Roeg so much. He rules. He rules hard.
Oh, absolutely. No, I do love the logic in some of the early characters. in this film, namely the two teenagers that sneak into the testing site and decide that this area of water that does not look like it should be swam in, and they're 100%
totally
like, yeah, they're 100% like, you know what, this seems like a great place to skinny dip. And he's just like, you sure this isn't like a water treatment plant? I'm like, it 100% looks like a water treatment plant, for one.
100%. For
two, there are literal, like, there's caging around the area. There is definitely something in that fucking water. And when they died, I'm like, you know what? Serves you right. Serves you right for being so goddamn stupid. And yeah, it's, I cannot begin to tell you how much fun I thought this movie was. It was very pleasantly surprised. Bradford Dillman, who played the main character, Paul Grogan, which, by the way, Grogan, amazing last name. His alcoholism is the funniest thing in this movie. Just
yeah, man, I'm a drunk, but I wasn't drunk when I called in that report. I know what you think, but I'm being serious right now.
I would have loved to say, like, are you drunk right now? I would have loved to say, I was like, well, I am a little drunk, but that's beside the point. Like, but also the entire movie, he carries that flask of goddamn bourbon with him the whole way. Like, that thing makes it to the end of the movie with him.
Yeah, it's good time. I mean, yeah, it's the consistency of character. I mean, it's why this is John Sayles, who, went on to do so many, 8 Men Out, and Matawan, and I mean, a City of Men. No, City of Men. Yeah, I mean, I love John Sayles. He's so good. Return of the Secret 7. Yeah, he's a banger.
Now, Ken, have you seen Piranha 3DD?
Yes, David, I have seen all of the Piranhas. I cannot even begin to tell you how many creature features I've seen. I think, almost all of them. At least, like, up to about 6-7 years ago, for a script that I was working on. And I watched everything I could find, and I just haven't kept up since, because it's fine. I hear Boar is very good. There's a lot. Is
this the script that I think it is that you're talking about?
Yes, the script whose name I'm not going to say on the podcast.
Precisely. Don't you dare, because Ken, if you die without having made that film, I will be very.
I'm going to be so mad. Yeah, no, totally. Well, David, question.
All I'm saying is anyone who's a filmmaker or a producer, I'm just telling you, just message Ken and be like, how much money do you need? What's the script name? He will tell you, and you'll be like, take all my money. That's all I'm going to say about it.
If anyone's listening with a huge bank account, I have a guaranteed hit, and by guaranteed hit, I mean guaranteed. But anyway, David, I know this is going to probably be a shorter episode, but do you have anything else to say about Piranha other than, like, see it? It's super fun. You'll have a great time.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like it's a cult hit for a reason. I would say. I was watching the trailer for the remakes, and the only thing I'm like that makes me want to see Piranha 3DD is Ving Rhames being like, "Give me my leg," and they put a crutch on that has a shotgun on it, like full. Oh God, what was that?
And Adam Scott is worth checking out as well, because Adam
Scott was in Piranha 3D, and then Ving Rhames returned for Piranha 3DD.
Hey man, sometimes you got to pick up
along with David Hasselhoff. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think outside of that, like, this is a solid I think this is a solid cult hit, and I highly recommend that people check it out. It's on Shudder. And now, Ken, with that being said, I know this is a little bit of a shorter episode because, we can't just spend the whole time saying, oh my God, I love this movie. But what films have you picked out for us to choose from?
I've got 2 dangerous bangers for you for this next episode for our audience on Instagram to vote on. First off, we have Exorcist 3, directed and written by William Peter Blatty, based on his book Legion, and it is so good. It is like Exorcist 2 is a fever dream that makes you feel like it's like watching The Room. Like, you just don't know what's happening. The Exorcist 3, on the other hand, rules so hard, and you don't expect it to, and so it just catches you off guard, and it just rules. Then
and a banger performance from Brad Dourif, by the way.
Well, and Brad Dourif and George C. Scott. And then the other movie is Brotherhood of the Wolf, directed by Christopher Gans, which is like The Matrix, but in the 1800s. But there's also like a werewolf, and there's also kung fu, and it's also always raining. And Monica Bellucci shows up, and she's all hot, and it's just and it's good. And you're gonna either way, I'm gonna be happy no matter which our audience chooses, Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh yeah,
or
directed
Exorcist
by Christoph Gans, who also did.
Silent Hill.
I know. Yeah, he did Silent Hill. I love that movie so much, even though it is objectively not the best movie in the world. But being the fan of Silent Hill that I am, I'm like, you know what? In terms of the look of this film, fucking nailed it, bro.
Gorgeous looking film, absolute nonsense.
Oh yeah, the script is not good, but the thing is, the script is not good because the studio would be like, you know what, this movie needs more white men. Could you please put more men in this? And he's like, no, I purposefully didn't want to have that many men because I wanted this to be a female-led film. They're like, what if we got Sean Bean and we just had him in a bunch of scenes that didn't have this main character? Will you let me release the film if I let you do this? Sure, fine. God, fuck you guys. Because yeah, hands down, those scenes 100% slowed that movie down to a snail's pace. But yeah, that being said, good choices for films, my friend. Bravo. Outside of that, Ken, do you have any pluggables to send our way?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Ken Stachnik, KenStachnik. You can find us on Twitter at Shutter Show. You can find us on Instagram at
me. Oh yes. Oh, you're pointing to me. Okay. Yes. Yes, you can find us on Instagram at Shutter_show. And you can also find me at _DW Marlowe, where I get up to my regular musings. And occasionally you get to see some shop stuff and things I get up to on a regular basis with my wonderful wife of a woman, Katie Sexton. So yeah. Check us all out, kids. How you doing, kid?
Oh, I'm doing great, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good night. Good luck. And most importantly, go fuck yourselves. And for God's sakes, get your fucking booster shots.
Oh, Ken, did you get your booster shot?
Not yet. No, I'm trying to get it set up.
Ken, get your fucking booster shot.
I'm working on it. All right.
I got mine.
Everybody.